ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीपते रघुनाथ स्वामी इति नामिने। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीपते जयपताक स्वामी इति नामिने। नमो आचार्यपदाय निताय कृपा प्रदायिते गौरकथा धावदाय नगरग्रावतारिणे। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी निति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवादी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we will continue with the 5th verse of Sri Guruvashtakam. We have covered till text 4. We will continue on with text 5. Shri Radhika Bhavayara Pavara Madhurya Leela Guraroopanamna Pratikshana Swa Dhanalolupasya Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam. Translation: The spiritual master is always eager to hear and chant about the unlimited conjugal pastimes of Radhika and Madhava and their qualities, names, and forms. The spiritual master aspires to relish these at every moment. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of such a spiritual master. So these verses, very, very beautiful verses of Sri Guruvashtakam, which Srila Prabhupada so expertly, has designed it in such a way that we start our day with the glorification of these verses glorifying the spiritual master. And when we do so, then Srila Prabhupada has very, thoughtfully kept these recitation of these Guruvashtakam prayers as part of our morning program. It's the very first Ashtakam that we sing in the morning. And Srila Prabhupada has very thoughtfully termed it as Mangal Arati. Mangal Arati means that if we do this regularly in the morning, if we recite these beautiful 8 verses every day in the morning during the Brahma Muhurta, it is explained that Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur himself, who is the author of these 8 verses, he's explaining that one who, with great care and attention, loudly recites this beautiful prayer to the spiritual master during the Brahma Muhurta, obtains direct service to Krishna, the Lord of Vrindavan, at the time of his death. So this is something very, very special, a very special benediction that has been offered by Srila Prabhupada to all of us. That we start our day of, immersing ourselves in Krishna Bhakti by, reciting these mantras glorifying the spiritual master. So this 5th verse is talking about how the spiritual master is always very beautifully engaged in the engaged in hearing and chanting about the unlimited conjugal pastimes of Radha and Madhava, and also their qualities, their names, their different forms. And the spiritual master aspires to relish these at every moment. So when we say like this, that pratikshanasva dhanalolupasya, that the spiritual master is actually aspiring to relish these beautiful pastimes at every moment, it implies that being the followers of such a spiritual master, we should also try to imbibe such qualities, that we are always eager to listen to pastimes of Radha and Madhava. So I thought I will share a few pastimes of Sri Sri Radha Madhava in connection to this verse, so that our intensity to hear about the pastimes of Radha Madhava keep increasing. Sri Sri Radha Madhava are the presiding deities in Sri Mayapur Dham, as all of us know, at the world headquarters of our movement. Srila Prabhupada established them. Very, very amazing, heart-captivating deities, Sri Sri Radha Madhava and Ashtasakhis. And there are some very, very special pastimes. I would like to share maybe one or two pastimes that I've heard. And one of them is like this, that when in the night, the night offering, Sri Sri Radha Madhava, because there are so many and such big deities, generally in all ISKCON temples, what is done is that around 7:30 or so is the last arati, and then from 7:30 to 9 o'clock the altar is closed, and 9 o'clock is the final the final Shayan arati. The last arati, when we can see the night dress of their lordships at 9 o'clock in the night. That is the last arati of the day, which is called as the Shayana arati. That's before the Lord takes rest. But in Mayapur, because the deities are so big and there are so many of them, it takes a lot of time to get them dressed. So Srila Prabhupada had established this standard in Mayapur, that the last arati in Mayapur, the Shayana arati, is at 8:15, and they actually do not change their outfits yet. But at 8:15, after they close the altar at around 8:30, then they start changing the outfits, and then there is no more darshan in the night of the deities in the night outfit, but the night outfit is seen only once, which is during Mangalarti the next day. So after their dress is changed into night outfit, nobody actually gets darshan. There's no public darshan. So before their lordships, Radha Madhava and Ashtasakhis, are put to rest, after they get dressed and everything, before they just go to sleep, they are offered one hot glass of milk. And because the milk is very hot, there is also one cooling bowl that is offered on the side, so that the understanding is that Srimati Radharani would actually cool the milk before she offers it to Krishna. So that's the idea with which the hot glass of milk along with a cooling bowl is offered every day before their lordships go to sleep. So one day the pujari who was making the offering, actually it was Pankajangri Prabhu who was making the offering, the last offering of the night, and he made the offering, but he forgot to keep the cooling bowl that day. He just offered the hot glass of milk, and he came out and he was sitting right outside Radha Madhava's altar entrance. And he was sitting there and he was chanting his evening Gayatri. And when he was chanting his evening Gayatri, at that time he recollected that, oh, Krishna, I forgot to put the cooling bowl, and I hope Sri Sri Radha Madhava, they don't burn their fingers. Their fingers don't get burnt because the glass will be so hot. So as soon as he thought like that, he heard a ton sound coming from the altar. And then after he finished his Gayatri, when he came to release the offering, he saw, when he came inside the altar, he saw that the entire glass of milk was spilt over, and the milk was, strewn all over the floor, as if somebody would have lifted it and would have dropped it because it is so hot, So if the milk is just spilt, from the floor distance, if not picked up, then the milk would just spill, right? There will not be any splashes of milk. But this milk, it looked as if that somebody had lifted the milk, and because the glass was so hot, it kind of dropped, and therefore the milk splashed all over. So then Jananivas Prabhu was called inside, and then they again offered a milk glass with, a cooling bowl, and they noticed, Jananivas Prabhu actually noticed that Sri Sri Radha Madhava, they had a little burn spot on their, finger. So this pastime, Jananivas Prabhu explained to us that, yes, many of us can think, just for argument's sake, that even if the cooling bowl is given, that, the glass has to be anyways lifted while it is hot, right? But the thing is that, the deities, Sri Sri Radha Madhava, they reciprocate according to the love of the devotees, So we need to understand that, and there is no really proper logic to understand or explain this kind of reciprocation from the deities. So Pankajangvi Prabhu, because he was thinking that I hope Radha Madhava don't burn their fingers, immediately there was a reciprocation from their side. So how Radha Madhava, they are always looking for opportunity to reciprocate with the love of their devotees is amazing. Even till today, there are so many magical reciprocations that Radha Madhava do with their, fortunate devotees. One time there was one devotee, and this devotee had just come to Mayapur, and this was the first Janmashtami that this devotee was going to attend. And and then what happened is that it's only once a year, like I explained, that the night darshan of the deities in their night outfit it happens only once a year on the day of Janmashtami, because at 12 midnight the deities give darshan, and that darshan is in the night outfit. So the night outfit can be seen in the night only once a year on the day of Janmashtami. So it's a very special day for Mayapur devotees, So this devotee was very new, and they had heard a lot about Janmashtami, special darshan, at night, midnight. There was a little girl, and she was quite young, and, many devotees told this devotee about the glories of Janmashtami and the specialty of the midnight darshan. So she was very excited, very, very excited to come and, participate in the midnight arti and the midnight abhishek of the deities of Radha Madhava. But her parents, she was a little girl, and that night somehow her parents could not mother was a little sick and father was feeling very tired, so the girl was, literally begging her father that please take me to the temple, because she didn't have enough courage to come by herself to the temple. So she came along with her father, because her father was, obliged to bring the little girl. And she came to the temple along with her father, and the temple was super duper crowded. It was so crowded that they could not enter through the main entrance, and they came in through the side of Srila Prabhupada's entrance, the back entrance of the temple. And when they came, this girl was made to stand by her father next to Srila Prabhupada, above the stairs. Those of you who've seen Mayapur can understand Srila Prabhupada has 4 steps leading up to his Vyasasan. So this girl was made to sit right next to Srila Prabhupada by her father. And she had like a direct, darshan of Shri Radha Madhava while they were, getting Abhishek. And this girl, she witnessed something that she couldn't believe her eyes. She actually saw devatas descending, very, very beautiful transcendental beings, with carrying golden water pots. And they were all, coming, descending from the sky, like descending from above, and just pouring, white milk. Like milk is always white, but this milk was something very special. It looked something so special. It was just pouring, and the Radha Madhava were getting bathed by these demigods, by the devatas. Like this, it continued to happen for around 5 to 10 minutes, and then the Abhishek continued. And this girl was so mesmerized. The next day, she went and asked Jananivas Prabhu that what she saw, was it a figment of her imagination, or what was it? And Jananivas Prabhu revealed to that girl that it is actually a fact, that the devatas do come every single occasion to bathe Sri Sri Radha Madhava. So Sri Sri Radha Madhava are so special that, devatas also, every deity is very, very special. And devatas are actually standing in line to see and witness and to participate in the transcendental services of Sri Sri Radha Madhava. So these are the kinds of pastimes that the spiritual master is always eager to hear and chant. Srila Prabhupada, whenever he would go to different temples, he would actually ask the pujaris that, do you have any special reciprocation from the deities? Srila Prabhupada would be very eager to hear, if the deities are having any special reciprocation along with the devotees there. And following in the same footsteps of Srila Prabhupada, we see our Guru Vargas also. They are very inclined to, find out if the deities are having any kind of special reciprocation with the devotees. And they always relish it with great, great joy and great happiness. And, we should also, following in these footsteps of our spiritual masters, we should, try to imbibe that mood and beg the deities that we can also be recipient of such, beautiful, loving reciprocation. So we offer our respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of such a spiritual master. We move on to text 6. Nikunjayo no rati kelisi chai yayali bhiryo tirapekshaniya tatrati daksha ati vallabhasya vande guru shri charanarvindam. A spiritual master is very dear because he is expert in assisting the gopis who at different times make different tasteful arrangements for the perfection of Radha and Krishna's conjugal loving affairs within the groves of Vrindavan. I offer my most humble obeisances unto the lotus feet of such a spiritual master. This is something very, very special. How the spiritual master is constantly, and is very expert in assisting the gopis in, facilitating the different pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Srila Prabhupada, when he used to train his disciples, when he brought his, dancing white elephants, like Srila Prabhupada would call them, when he brought them to Vrindavan, and when the devotees, when Srila Prabhupada's disciples, when they were doing the installation of Shri Shri Radha Shama Sundar in Vrindavan, of Krishna Balaram Radha Sham and Gaudi Tai, and when they were doing the the groundbreaking ceremony. They were doing yagya and they were doing all of that. So Srila Prabhupada, he had invited a few of his godbrothers also, and they were also present during this ceremony. And Srila Prabhupada was sitting on his Vyasasan, and he was witnessing how his disciples are taking care of the whole thing. And some of his godbrothers came up to Srila Prabhupada and said, Swamiji, they're doing it all wrong. They're doing it all wrong. Why aren't you correcting them? Srila Prabhupada just said that they're doing it out of devotion and they're always ready to learn. I will correct them if they're doing something very wrong. But Srila Prabhupada was so expert, in training even, people who we cannot even imagine can take up to the process of deity worship. Such people from such backgrounds, Srila Prabhupada trained them so expertly in performing deity worship. It is amazing, how Srila Prabhupada has given so much of confidence, so much of faith Srila Prabhupada has shown towards his disciples, and given them the worship of Radha and Krishna, given them the worship of Shaligram Shila. Worshipping of Shaligram Shila is something very, very special, very unique. Qualified brahmanas, fail to accomplish the standards of, worship of Shaligram Shila. But Srila Prabhupada, he gave such simple methods that if we just follow that in toto, we will be perfectly following the words of our Acharya. That is how expert Srila Prabhupada, is in training his disciples. And his disciples in turn have trained our current Guru Vargas, how they are so beautifully expert in, engaging of devotional service in regards to the deities, in performance of different services to the deities. I remember one time, Srila Jayapataka Maharaj, during Nrsimha Chaturdashi in Mayapur, he said that this is back in 1998. And during that time in Mayapur, there would not be that many, not that many devotees as they are today, for the festival. So we would have maybe around, 1,500 devotees during Nrsimha Chaturdashi. And Jayapataka Maharaj said that I want each and every devotee to feel that they have contributed something in some way or the other during the festival of Nrsimha Chaturdashi. So for that, what did he do? He actually organized devotees in 8 different groups. He said there will be one group doing the kirtan, one group of devotees, and they will be, playing the bell, ringing the bell, They'll just be ringing the bell during the Abhishek of Lord Nrsimhadev. One group of devotees will chant the Hare Krishna mantra. One group of devotees will chant the Brahma Samhita. One group of devotees will chant the Purusha Shukta prayers. One group of devotees will, recite from the Srimad Bhagavatam. One group of devotees will recite from the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. One group of devotees will play the kartals. One group of devotees will play the mridanga. Like this, he just, had different groups of devotees doing different devotional service. So each and every one of the group of devotees, they had so many devotees along with them, but they were all, it was like a swarm of bees all engaged in glorifying Lord Nrsimhadev during the Abhishek. It was the best Abhishek of Lord Nrsimhadev that we have ever witnessed, because each and every one of us felt directly engaged in the service of Lord Nrsimhadev. That is how expert the spiritual master is. And I've also heard that during the installation of the deities in Ujjain, Srila Bhakti Swami Maharaj did something very similar to this, that he organized the devotees in doing such expert service in little groups So everyone felt that they are actively engaged in the service of the deities, that they are doing some valid contribution towards the deities. That is how expert the spiritual master is. During the yatras that Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj, he takes to Vrindavan, to Jagannath Puri, to Mayapur. It generally happens during Kartik. And during Kartik, every year, wherever the yatra may be, he actually organizes a cooking tent, one cooking tent for Prabhujis and one cooking tent for Matajis. All ingredients are provided in those tents, and they cook thousands upon thousands of offerings. And Srila Radhanath Maharaj personally cooks those offerings also in the Prabhuji's tent, and all of it on Govardhan Puja Day is offered to Shri Giriraj during the Annakut festival. So how expert these spiritual masters are in, engaging, in assisting the gopis. Nikunja yuno ratikeli siddhya. They are siddhas. They are so expert in, and they have attained perfection in not only just engaging themselves, but also engaging everybody else in the service of Shri Radha and Krishna. So we offer our respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of such a spiritual master. Text 7. Sakshadharitvena samasta shastrer uktastatha bhav yata eva sapi Kintu prabhurya priya eva tasya vande guru shri charanarvindam. The spiritual master is to be honored as much as the Supreme Lord, because he is the most confidential servitor of the Lord. This is acknowledged in all revealed scriptures and followed by all authorities. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of such a spiritual master, who is a bona fide representative of Sri Hari Krishna. Srila Prabhupada, he literally is a personification of this verse. I mean, each and every verse, of course, Srila Prabhupada is a personification of. But Srila Prabhupada, he at every moment, he never, failed to point out to his disciples that the spiritual master is none different from Lord Hari, that the same kind of respect needs to be given to the spiritual master. But at the same time, we all know about the incident that in some of Srila Prabhupada's disciples in certain part of the world, they were propagating that Srila Prabhupada is God based on this particular verse, that Srila Prabhupada is God himself. And Srila Prabhupada actually came down upon them very, very heavily. He said that I am not God. I am to be regarded as good as God. There is a difference between the two. That Srila Prabhupada is not Krishna, but Srila Prabhupada is to be given the same respect as we give to Krishna. Srila Prabhupada is the direct representative of Krishna. And when some of his disciples, mistook this, this teaching of Srila Prabhupada and started propagating him as God, if Srila Prabhupada would have wanted, Srila Prabhupada didn't have to correct them, and that notion would have come along. It would have definitely been passed along. But Srila Prabhupada wanted to keep the sanctity of our movement. And Srila Prabhupada was very, very careful that we understand what is the distinction between the two. What is being God and what is being as good as God. There is a difference between the two. Only Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But the spiritual master is actually the representative of Krishna. He is the transparent via media through whom we are approaching Krishna. So the spiritual master is regarded and is respected as good as Krishna. He is treated at the same level as Krishna. But the Guru never even for once thinks that he is as good as Krishna. The Guru always, whatever the disciple gives to the Guru passes it on to his Guru. His Guru passes it on to his Guru. Like that, it ultimately reaches Krishna himself. So whatever respect we are giving to our spiritual master, the spiritual master never keeps it to himself. He actually passes it on and it reaches Krishna himself. Srila Prabhupada, one time, some devotees, they actually wanted to welcome Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada was visiting a particular city after a very long time. And the devotees, they said that we're going to go to pick up Srila Prabhupada at the airport in a limousine. In another different occasion, Srila Prabhupada's disciples wanted to welcome Srila Prabhupada in the airport by picking him up in a Rolls Royce. And Srila Prabhupada said, yes, that is very befitting because I have come here as the representative of Krishna. So you should treat me as good as Krishna. But again, Srila Prabhupada would never keep all that respect for himself. Whether the devotees would go and pick him up, pick up Srila Prabhupada either in a Rolls Royce or in a bullock cart, it never mattered to Srila Prabhupada. But the kind of respect that we are able to give to the spiritual master to the best of our capacity, the spiritual master accepts it, doesn't keep it for himself, but he passes it on to his spiritual master. And it keeps going upwards in the Guru Parampara, and it finally reaches Krishna. Because Krishna is also extremely pleased when his dear representatives, when his dear devotees are honored. Krishna is extremely pleased. So we need to understand this formula of easily entering the heart of Krishna is that if we can love his dear devotees, then Krishna's love will automatically be showering upon us. Krishna will look, who is this person who is trying to give so much of love, so much of service to my dear devotee? If we want to attract the mercy of Krishna, let us never try to serve Krishna directly. Let us try to serve Krishna's devotees. This was how even Sri Maharaj Prataparudra perfected his life. Maharaj Prataparudra was so, such an ardent devotee of Lord Chaitanya that Lord Chaitanya refused to give personal association or even to meet with Maharaj Prataparudra. Because based on social norms, like a sannyasi should not meet a worldly king. So but Maharaj Prataparudra never took that to heart. In fact, Mahaprabhu even met Maharaj Prataparudra's son, little son of Maharaj Prataparudra, and the way that son was dressed, Mahaprabhu remembered Krishna, and Mahaprabhu gave his prema lingan, his loving embrace, to the little son of Maharaj Prataparudra. And that child was imbued with pure love of God by the embrace of Mahaprabhu. And when that child returned to the palace of Maharaj Prataparudra, Maharaj Prataparudra embraced that child, his own son, and he received the same benefit of getting imbued with pure love of God, because Mahaprabhu had embraced that child. So Maharaj Prataparudra felt as if Mahaprabhu has personally embraced him also. And Maharaj Prataparudra continued to serve the devotees of Mahaprabhu, like Ramananda Roy. Ramananda Roy came to Maharaj Prataprudra because Maharaj Pratapradra's court had Ramananda Roy as one of the ministers. He was one of the ministers. And Ramananda Roy had been instructed by Mahaprabhu to assist him directly. So Ramananda Roy came to Maharaj Prataprudra and said, "My dear Lord, Lord Chaitanya has asked me to, move to Jagannath Puri with him. So what should I do?" So Maharaj Prataprudra said, "Go, my dear Ramananda. You don't even have to ask my permission. You are so fortunate that the Lord has asked for your service. You will get full pension, full pay. I will take care of everything. You just go and serve our dear Lord." Not for once did Maharaj Prataprudra think that why is he getting, why not me? This kind of comparison, this kind of, thought never entered the mind of Maharaj Prataprudra. But he was so happy for Ramananda Roy when Lord Chaitanya summoned him to Jagannath Puri. And with such a happy heart, Maharaj Prataprudra made all arrangements for Ramananda Roy to go and serve Lord Chaitanya. And not only to Ramananda Roy, to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya, Maharaj Prataprudra would personally take care of all of their personal needs. Of Advaita Acharya Prabhu, of Nityananda Prabhu, of devotees who would come from Bengal once a year during Rath Yatra. Maharaj Prataprudra would personally take care of each and every devotee who would visit Jagannath Puri during Rath Yatra. That was how personalized Maharaj Pratapradra's service was. And during one of the Rath Yatras, all the devotees started feeling that yes, now it is time that we have to bring Maharaj Prataprudra in the audience of Lord Chaitanya. So then, on the saying of Advaita Acharya and Nityananda Prabhu, and under their instructions, they dressed him as a humble mendicant. Maharaj Prataprudra very easily gave up his kingly attire. He dressed up like a humble mendicant, a beggar. And he came and he started massaging the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya while singing the Gopi Gita. And when he was singing the Gopi Gita and he was massaging the Lord Chaitanya felt so much bliss, so much ecstasy, that he just forgot everything and he just embraced Maharaj Prataprudra. And this embrace of Maharaj Prataprudra that he received by Lord Chaitanya, Srila Prabhupada explains in this particular purport that this was in reciprocation that Lord Chaitanya wanted to give to Maharaj Prataprudra for all of his selfless service to the Vaishnavas. That's what attracted the mercy of Lord Chaitanya upon Maharaj Prataprudra. Because Maharaj Pratapradra's life was so successful because he had dedicated his life to the service of the Vaishnavas. So if we want to attract the mercy of Krishna, we must serve his devotees. We must please his devotees, and there is no other way other than this to attract the mercy of Krishna. Like Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur very expertly says that don't try to see Krishna. Our mundane eyes are not capable of seeing Krishna. But let us act in such a way that Krishna wants to see us. And how can we act in such a way that Krishna wants to see us? When we serve his pure devotees. When we serve the Vaishnavas and please them, that's what Krishna is, getting attracted. Oh, who is this, lovely soul who is serving my devotees so beautifully? Then Krishna's transcendental vision showers upon us. So service to such Vaishnavas is the goal and perfection of our life. And it should be the only ambition of our life. And to treat our spiritual master to be as good as Hari, to be non-different from Hari, and to understand that they are actually, whatever services they are receiving, whatever worship they are receiving, they are keeping nothing for themselves. Just like a post box, Srila Prabhupada would very beautifully give this example. The post box receives so many different kinds of envelopes, right? Some envelopes have money in them. Some envelopes have, very precious thoughts, very precious messages that are there in them. The post box doesn't think, oh, this envelope has money, so let me keep this for myself. The other things I don't want, let me give those away. The post box never thinks like that. When the person comes to empty the post box doesn't hide something for himself and gives the rest to them. No, the post box gives everything away. He doesn't keep anything for himself. So that is what is the role of a spiritual master. Spiritual master never keeps anything for himself. A glorious spiritual master passes on everything to his spiritual master. And they in turn pass it on to their spiritual master, and it finally reaches Krishna. And therefore now we come to the conclusion of the 8th verse, the final verse of Sri Guruvashtakam, where Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has actually given us, all of these 7 verses. We understand that they are glorifying the spiritual master. But this 8th verse is telling us what we should actually do. Yasya prasadan bhagavat prasado, yasya prasadan nagati kutopi, dhayanstavam stasya yashastri sandhyam vande guru shri charanarvindam. By the mercy of the spiritual master, one receives the benediction of Krishna. Without the grace of the spiritual master, one cannot make any advancement. Therefore, I should always remember and praise the spiritual master. At least 3 times a day, I should offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master. So in all of these 8 verses, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is giving us what is our, action that we should actually be doing. That we should actually try to remember the spiritual master at least. You should understand that how he's stressing upon the word at least. At least means minimum number of times. That this is minimum. We can do anything more than this. Very good. But minimum 3 times a day during the Trisandhya. Trisandhya means when the first Sandhya is when the night is going and morning is coming. The second Sandhya is when the morning is going and afternoon is coming. And the third Sandhya is when the day is ending and the night is coming. So these are the 3 Sandhyas, the 3 Sandhya. Sandhya means the meeting point of the different times of the day. That's what Sandhya means. So at least during these Sandhyas, these 3 Sandhyas, we should at least during these times we should remember the spiritual master. In fact, the goal of life is to remember the spiritual master every moment of the day. Every moment. Each and every one of our activities, we should actually train ourselves, an expert disciple, a sincere disciple, a genuine disciple, actually, before they do any activity, before they commit to any kind of thought, before they speak any word, they actually think, take one step back and they think that, will this be in glorification of my spiritual master? Will my spiritual master be proud of what I am doing now? And then they do that particular act or speak that particular word or think about that particular thought. That is the sign of a sincere, genuine disciple. If we are not in that standard, then we should aspire to that standard. That at least, we should try to think in our mind that before doing any activity, we should try to think that if my spiritual master comes to know of this, how would he react? What would be his response? Will he be proud of me? Will he be liking what I am doing? Will he be liking what I am thinking? So that is the thought of the disciple. That is the work of the disciple. That is the sadhana of the disciple. So the disciple is conscious every moment of the day that what will my guru think if he finds out that I'm engaged in such and such activity. That is the consciousness of a disciple. And therefore, each and every activity of the disciple is actually meant for glorifying the spiritual master. We sing during Guru Puja every day, Ebe Jasa Ghushuk Tribhuvana, and may your name and fame be spread all over the three worlds. We say that may I, O spiritual master, may I, your disciple, be a humble instrument in, spreading your name and fame all over the three worlds. That is the success of the life of a disciple. When Dronacharya was training Arjuna was, we all know that how dear he was to Dronacharya. It was the favorite disciple was Arjuna, and it was not because, he was very good looking or he was very, not these kind of qualities, but because he imbibed the mood of Dronacharya to such an extent that Dronacharya felt that he could give Arjuna what he could not give any other disciple, because they were not at the level of accepting which Arjuna was. So Dronacharya could give everything to Arjuna. He became the perfect disciple. And Dronacharya became known as the guru of Arjuna. And Arjuna's, identity became that he was the disciple of Dronacharya. So Dronacharya actually commended Arjuna, and he said that this is the perfection of a guru's life also. That when the guru is known by the identity of a disciple, that, oh look, the guru has trained this person and this person is a disciple of such and such guru, the guru's glory increases, that the disciple makes the guru proud. So Dronacharya was such a spiritual master that he felt that Arjuna had made, his name and fame spread all over the three worlds. So this was the qualification of Arjuna. So in that same mood, we should, as disciples, we should try to see that our spiritual master should be, with every activity of ours, that our spiritual master's name and fame should be glorified in all over the three worlds. If we are not able to add to his glory, we should definitely not be, part of, anyone pointing finger at our spiritual master. That's like worse than death for a disciple. So a disciple should lead their life in such a way that their spiritual master is glorified. Like the fruit, is known, a tree is actually known by the fruit, the kind of fruit the tree bears. The glory of the tree increases by the kind of fruit they bear. So if the fruit is very nice, it's very tasty, it's very juicy, the glory is not given to the fruit that, oh fruit, you're so nice. The credit is actually given to the tree. Wow, this fruit is coming from that tree? Oh, that tree is so nice. That is a disciple. When the fruit gives glory to the tree, that is how the disciple should give glory to the spiritual master. And only when we are, when the Guru is pleased, we get Krishna. And when Krishna is pleased, we get further service to the spiritual master. So it's really a very beautiful reciprocation, that in the beginning, that only by the mercy of the spiritual master we get Krishna, right? We all know that we chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. It's by the mercy of the spiritual master. But by constant chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Krishna makes us get so much more opportunities that we can continue to render service to such a spiritual master and become more and more dear to him, and then try to become dear to Krishna. So only by the mercy of spiritual master we receive the benediction of Krishna, and without the grace of the spiritual master we cannot make any kind of advancement. And only by the grace of Krishna do we get further opportunities to serve the spiritual master. So we'll end here. If there's any questions, comments, or reflections, we can take that now. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur ki jai. ISKCON Vartaman Guru Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Siddhanath Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Kalasudha Mataji, very, very, very nectarian, well, wonderful class. And it's nice instructions also. Very, very wonderful in glorification of the spiritual master. His disciples also. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Mataji, very, very beautiful class, Mataji, with lot of pastimes and so many instructions. Very, very beautiful class, Mataji. Mataji, I have a small question. You were telling everything we should think about Guru before we do something. So if I have a thing like in my mind, but I don't know what it's correct or wrong, because I feel like I'm not qualified to think that whether my Guru is satisfied or not, because I am not in that level. If I think that if my Siksha Gurus who are guiding me, if I can make them happy, is that okay, Mataji? Because I feel myself very low to think about Guru Maharaj before I do something.
Actually, it's very, very proper attitude, because that is the teaching of Lord Chaitanya. Mahaprabhu says, Gopi Bhartu Pada Kamalayor Dasa Dasa Dasana Das. Means we should try to become the servant of the servant of the servant. So anyone who claims to be the direct servitor of the spiritual master also, we should never claim to be the direct servitor of Krishna, but we should also never claim to be the direct servitor of the spiritual master also. That we should claim to be the servant of the servant of the spiritual master. So yes, we never should have the feeling that, yes, I have direct access to the Guru. Oh look, I have, this kind of access. No, it's, even if we have that kind of access, that access can go away any time. So our only hope, our only shelter are, the Vaishnavas. Yes, like Shiksha Guru. So Shiksha Guru is actually who is helping us in fulfilling our vows to our Diksha Guru. So if we can please and render services to such a Shiksha Guru, then it is as good as rendering services to the Diksha Guru directly. That is how even, the Shad Goswamis, they actually perfected their life in that same way. They were all direct disciples of Lord Chaitanya, most of them. And but then they were not serving Lord Chaitanya directly. They were actually serving, Srila Sanatana Goswami, or they were serving, Srila Rupa Goswami, who was their Shiksha Guru. So, like Jiva Goswami, he took Diksha from Srila Sanatana Goswami, but he took Shiksha from Rupa Goswami. So like this, he was very close to Rupa Goswami, although he took Diksha from Sanatana Goswami. So yes, serving the Shiksha Guru, who is in conjunction, who has been definitely, blessed by the spiritual master, by Diksha Guru, yes, such a Shiksha Guru should definitely be pleased, and it is as good as pleasing the Diksha Guru. So does that answer your question?
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Vinaya. Thank you so much for the beautiful question. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, please go ahead. Go ahead, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Beautiful class. Thank you for it, Mataji. Like someone like me who doesn't have a guru, Mataji, Diksha Guru, how do they keep themselves motivated and keep doing their day-to-day bhakti, Mataji?
Very, very nice question. May I know your name?
Mataji, Avinanda.
Avinanda, I'm so sorry, Avinanda. I didn't recognize
That's okay, Mataji. That's okay, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for the lovely question. Yes, for those who are not yet, initiated, those who don't have a direct Diksha Guru, for everyone in ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada is the primary Shiksha Guru. So till we come to the point of accepting one of Srila Prabhupada's disciples as our Diksha Guru, we should consider Srila Prabhupada as our Shiksha Guru. And of course, we have senior Vaishnavas in the in our movement, in our close proximity also. So apart from Srila Prabhupada being the the preeminent primary Shiksha Guru for all of us, not just those who are not initiated, but for even us who are initiated, Srila Prabhupada is the preeminent Shiksha Guru for all of us, whether we are initiated or not. But then, especially for those of us who are not initiated, apart from Srila Prabhupada, we also have senior devotees whom we can take guidance from, whom we can, in the meantime, till we are in the process of selecting our guru, we can take shelter of such senior devotees whom we feel very sheltered by, whom we feel very comfortable with, whom we feel that, yes, they understand us and they can guide us to, to the right path, in the right path. They can help us, and with whom we feel very comfortable. So we should have, that kind of relationship, at least with one or two devotees. And that will help us in the search for our guru, or till the time that we have accepted a Diksha Guru. So, yes, so we do have Srila Prabhupada and we have the senior Vaishnavas. So, does that answer your question, Avinanda?
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Very nice question.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Very nice explanation. And just I have one question, Mataji. In the last verse, you said that we should remember 3 times in a day to our Guru Maharaj. So it's always confusing to me as initiated devotee, because I do this aarti only in the morning, Manga. So what can you explain a little bit more how to remember? Means is there any particular time or any time 3 times, or how to remember, how to, means you should recite those verses, or as you said that before you do anything and then you just remember that maybe for the whole day, not at particular 3 times. So what does that mean?
Yes, very nice question, Kamal Gopika Mataji. Thank you so much for asking that. Well, this Trisandhya is especially for those devotees who are Brahmin initiated. That we should remember the spiritual master at least 3 times a day when we chant our Gayatris. So our Gayatris are chanted 3 times a day. So we are remembering our spiritual master while we are chanting our Gayatris. So that happens 3 times a day in these 3 different sandhyas. So those of us who are not Brahmin initiated, how do we do that? Well, we should try to remember the spiritual master, if not every moment of the day, but at least, it doesn't have to be in the form of an arati. It doesn't have to be in the form of, reciting these Guruvashtakam prayers also. But it could be as simple as, oh, my spiritual master, I offer my obeisances unto you. Like, before we take prasad, we all take prasad at 3 times of the day, right? We take breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So when we are taking breakfast prasad, when we are taking lunch prasad, when we are taking dinner prasad, we all chant Mahaprasade Govinde Sharire Avidya Jao. And then in the end, we say Shla Guru Maharaj Ki Jai also. So that is remembering the spiritual master. As simple as that. So remembering the spiritual master doesn't really have to be in the form of an arati, or it doesn't have to be in the form of reciting the Guruvashtakam, but it could just be in the form of even honoring prasadam, that we are thanking the spiritual master for blessing us with, prasadam to eat. So that way we can remember the spiritual master. Those of us who are not Brahmin initiated, that way we can remember. And those of us who are Brahmin initiated, so before we eat, we are supposed to chant our Gayatri 3 times a day. So that time we are expected, as Brahmanas, to remember our spiritual master. So does that answer your question?
Yes, Mataji, very nice. So, means with our consciousness should be that we should, when we, so very nice. Thank you. Making it more clear.
Thank you, Mataji.
And Mataji, how can you know that your Guru Maharaj is pleased with you? As you said in one sentence, we should do everything so that Guru Maharaj should be pleased with us. So how can you, and as Vinaya Mataji asked the question further in relation with it?
The way we know that our spiritual master is pleased is when... Yes, the way we know that our spiritual master is pleased is when the senior disciples of the spiritual master, who are our Shiksha Guru, if they are pleased, then we should know that our spiritual master is automatically pleased.
Okay.
That is a simple formula, the simplest formula. If our Shiksha Gurus are pleased, then spiritual master is automatically pleased. It is automatic process. Because even if you see the olden days, the Gurukul system used to work just like this. Not everyone would actually get the direct association of the Guru. The Guru would actually just teach the senior disciples, and then the senior disciples would then teach the junior disciples, and then once in a while they would somehow get to meet with the Guru. But for all practical purposes, it's the senior disciples who were taking care of all the junior disciples. That is the Gurukul and the ashram system, how we see even in the previous ages. So following in that same mood, we have, the Guru, because it's not really possible, especially when the Guru is, like, for example, for those disciples, disciples like the disciples of Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, for disciples of Srila Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, for disciples of, devotees who have already, Sridhar Maharaj, all these different Maharajas who have left their, physical bodies. How do they know that they're pleasing their spiritual master, right? So it's not about really, pleasing the Guru and the Guru coming and giving a pat on our back, saying that, yes, you're doing the right thing. But, when the representative of our spiritual master also comes and tells the same thing, then we know that, yes, we are, pleasing our spiritual master directly. So pleasing the Guru by pleasing his representatives, being the servant of our spiritual master. That is the perfection of life, and that is how we can really be able to, understand that yes, we are pleasing our spiritual master or not. So, does that answer your question?
Yes, Mataji. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dandvat Pranam Mataji, Kalasudha Mataji, Hare Krishna, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. I had a very, very wonderful class, Mataji, talking us about the importance of the spiritual master, especially the example that you gave of the fruit and the tree. That should be our perspective too. And I had a question, which I always had in my mind, is that we have been heard that we have to do the Sansara Dava in the Brahma Muhurta time. But at the same time, we need to also do the chanting during the Brahma Muhurta. Now, Brahma Muhurta, like even if I start to do around 4:30, and especially on the weekdays, and till 6:30, I have to finish all the things and then start with the household chores. So 2 hours time. So if you want to chant as much as possible, still can do around 12 rounds. But then we have to do the offering, and only then the aarti has to be done. That's what I've been told, that we have to do the offering first, and then this. So I'm never able to do this, do the Sansara Dava, Mangal Aarti, and other aartis. Only it happens for me towards the later part, like after 9, because after 6:30 I don't get the time between 6:30 to 9. So now what do you suggest in such a case? Should I just do maybe 8 rounds and then do the offering and this? Because Brahma Muhurta, Mangal Aarti, I'll never be able to do then, Mataji. I don't know what to do.
Very nice question. Very nice question. One time, one disciple actually asked this question to Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada said, when you are even taking shower, you can recite the Guruvashtakam. It just takes 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes to even recite it. And then you can just start chanting. Because if we are crunched on time, chanting, we should remember that chanting is our first priority. Doing the other part of the morning program, like, singing the Guruvashtakam, doing Narsingha prayers, doing the Tulasi Puja, all of this is like a catalyst, which is very important. And there's no doubt about that we should, not sacrifice that. But then, if we are really crunched on time, if we don't have time to, do even, actually, if you see those devotees who do Mangalarti at home, they can finish the entire Mangalarti, including Tulsi Puja, within 15 minutes. Within 15 minutes, it can be done. Doing the Guruvashtakam, chanting the Narsingha prayer, and, doing Tulsi Puja. It takes, 5 minutes each. If you do it very, very fast without any repetition, you just, do it in 15 minutes. There's no problem with that at all. And then you can start your chanting. So that is, definitely doable, because after, 9 o'clock, of course, if we are singing the Guruvashtakam, then we should start singing it in a different meter, which is during the mid-morning sessions. We should sing it in a different meter, not in the, the early morning meter. All that is the technicalities of it. But again, it's not a compulsion, But the main thing is in the mood with which we are doing it, right? So if we are really crunched on time, everything can be adjusted. Like, for example, I know one devotee, actually our very own temple president at ISKCON Houston, Shamsundar Prabhu, when he used to work, he would actually have to be at work by 4:45 or 5 o'clock. He would have to be at his work in the early morning hours. He used to work at a hospital or something. For that, he would have to work from 4:45 in the morning till around 12 noon or something. That was his working hours. So when he would drive, he would actually chant the entire morning program. He would start from Guruvashtakam, and he would do all of that. And then 4:45, he had to set up only machines, and then he would sit in his workplace from 5 to 7, and he would chant his japa. So this kind of thing, we know that how devotees make these kind of adjustments, but staying within the boundaries. So that would be, considering your situation, what I would definitely say is that if you can finish Mangalarti within 15 minutes at 4:30 in the morning and then start chanting your rounds, then it is going to work out very well. Don't you think so?
Yes, Mataji. But a quick question. Like in the morning, for example, if I start right 4:15, if I do that, can I do that without the offering, like Mangalarti, and then like 4:30 I can start my chanting? Or do
Absolutely.
So I don't need to do the offering first, Mataji. That's my question, because I've been told the offering has to be first.
Offering before Mangalarti. The offering that is done before Mangalarti could be just some fruits and some milk sweet. The milk sweet, even in our installed deities at the temples, that's what we are doing. Before the curtains are open for Mangalarti, the Lord is offered some milk sweets, which are made during the entire, like you can make one pot of sweet rice, and you can just take a bowl of sweet rice and offer that to your deities in the morning when you wake them up, and then you can, do the Mangalarti. So the sweet rice doesn't have to be cooked right that time. You can cook it and keep it for 7 days at least, but make sure that it's just for 7 days and not more than that. So sweet rice or any kind of milk sweet, and even some fruit, you can just offer something, small, which doesn't need any kind of, extra thing. And generally it's just milk sweet and some fruit that is offered in the morning, early morning, and then you can do Mangalarti. So that is perfectly fine.
I think that's why, Mataji, I think people generally devotees get up at 3:30, Mataji? I think that's, now I understand the importance of getting up still earlier than that, than what people are doing. So, I have to start with that. Thank you, Mataji.
Kalasudha, if you offer, then you have to wait for 5 minutes, right?
Yeah, generally we wait for at least, even at many temples, the early morning time, we try to wake up the deities by 4:15, and then the waking up process for installed deities takes quite a bit of time, and then the offering is made and they're waiting for 5 minutes. But for home deities, you can even wait for 5 minutes or 2-3 minutes, and then you can do the Mangalarti.
But I do all the time first Mangalarti, and then I offer the food, and then I start my chanting. So should I change?
When the Lord is woken up, he is hungry, It's a normal thing. So Prabhupada always said that we should, wake up the Lord with some kind of offering. So that's what I'm saying, like some milk sweet like peda, barfi, even cookies, that we have made, like for the whole week you can keep it. And you can just make it once a week and just keep it in your refrigerator. And don't eat directly from there, but, just offer 2 pieces of sweet every day in the morning, before you do the Mangalarti. That is the recommended process. And then you do Arti.
So, Mataji, usually means when I wake up my deities and then I recite the Guruvashtakam. And then, then I offer the incense, the ghee lamp. And then I do my Tulsi Aarti, then I offer the ghee lamp, and then I offer the prasadam, means offering. So that is my routine. So I offer milk and sweet.
Okay, milk and sweet. So just switch it before. It has to be done before the Mangalarti.
Okay.
Yeah, because when the Lord wakes up, that's why that bhog is called Balya Bhog. It's said that, children, when they wake up, the first thing, like we know in Damodar Leela, as soon as Krishna wakes up, the first thing that comes into his mind is, I'm hungry, So Krishna is very hungry when he wakes up. He's very hungry. And of course he's hungry for love also. But Srila Prabhupada, that's why recommended that before any arti, we should do a bhoga offering, and then the arti is to be done. Because the Lord should not be made any bhoga offering while the incense is burning. Because Krishna can't eat with the smoke of the incense. These are all different technicalities I'm getting into, sorry about that. But yes, the standard is that we should do bhoga offering first and then arati.
Okay. And what we should recite when we waking up deities?
Well, there are certain mantras in Sanskrit that are given. If we can by heart those, very nice. We can wake them up with that. Or you can even wake them up in the English language. Krishna is multilingual. You can wake him up by saying, Krishna, please wake up. You can wake him up in Hindi. Ki jaag jao, Krishna, aap uthiye. Bhor hone wali hai, aap uthiye. In your own language. Krishna understands every language. But yes, there are certain mantras. If we can by heart those mantras for waking up the deities, it's just 2 lines, we can just recite that. Yeah, it's just 2 lines, and I can give those mantras for waking up the deities. It's available everywhere. So, you can wake them up with those mantras if you can, but otherwise, just the simple wake up Krishna. That's also sufficient. You can even recite the Uttishta Govinda, the waking up mantras in Sanskrit that they chant. That's also very nice. The Suprabhatam prayers, they are also supposed to be very good for waking up the deities. So different things, that different things can be done. The main thing is that Krishna is Bhavagrahi Janardhan, so he accepts our mood with which we are waking him up. And so if you just wake him up with love, that's what he's looking for. You just wake him up in your own language and he will wake up.
Mataji, you said we can keep the sweet for 1 week. So is it kheer also we can keep for 1 week, or it has to be dry sweet like cookies and peda sort of?
Sweet rice in our temples, we keep the sweet rice for 1 week, and it stays.
As in sweet rice, when you say, does it mean kheer, Mataji? I just wanted to clarify myself.
See, kheer in some traditions, especially in Bengali tradition, kheer means without the presence of rice, which is just rabdi. That is considered to be kheer. But kheer in North India means sweet rice, which is, like payasam. So yes, either of them, the rabdi or with rice, anything is okay.
It's fine for 1 week, Mataji?
Yes, okay. It will be fine for 1 week. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji.
Or at least you can even make it like every 3-4 days. You can do that also. But I know that in our temple we do it every week.
Okay. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Very, very beautiful class, Mataji, and very nice explanation about deities, worshipping deities. I like the point when you said about the post box. He doesn't keep anything for himself, so same way the spiritual master doesn't keep. So how merciful they are, Mataji, for us, giving everything, and just have to remember that and serve our spiritual master. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, Hare Krishna. A small request, if it's possible, Mataji, if you can honor that, Mataji. The thing is that when I sing the Sansara Dava, I am not so melodious as you, and everybody has their own skills, and by singing is not my forte. But whenever I put the YouTube ones, they are so long, elongated, that the Sansara Dava is about 8-9 minutes or 10 minutes. But the way you sang, Mataji, with one verse each, can you just sing once so that I will play it whenever I do my Sansara Dava, and then probably I'll learn the tune the way you do it, Mataji.
Yes, Vinaya, you want to go ahead?
I have shared it on the group. It is just 4 minutes, I guess, around 4 minutes that Kalasudha Mataji has sang. In YouTube, we have uploaded. You can go through that also, Mataji. But please, Mataji, sing. I don't want you to stop, but I just want to...
No, I was going to say that only, that the YouTube video is already there, that Vinaya has just posted in both the Bhakti Sangha groups. And I think, how long is that video, Vinaya?
Mataji, 3 minutes or 54 seconds or something like that. Around 4 minutes, Mataji, maybe. Or 5 minutes. I have to check, Mataji.
Right. So it's around 4 minutes and it's the entire Guruvashtakam. So would that be helpful for you?
Yes, Mataji. But can YouTube, what do I have to search to find your video there?
No, it's already posted in the group.
In the group now?
You are part of...
Yeah,
you're part of the Bhakti Sangha group, right?
Yeah, okay, all right.
So Vinaya has already posted it in the group.
Thank you. Hari Bol. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much for wonderful class, Mataji. Do you have time for one more question, Mataji?
I have all the time in the world for you. Please, go ahead.
Thank you, Mataji. Mataji, everybody has to have Guru, and they need to get initiated to go back to God. Is that right, Mataji?
Yes.
So if in this lifetime, if we don't get initiated, and suppose by any chance if I leave this body, and I don't know as per my karmas if I get human form in the next life or not. So until we get initiated and until we get Guru, we'll not able to reach Krishna, Mataji. And if we get initiated every lifetime, if we get human form, we need to get Guru and we need to get initiated. Or if we, in one lifetime, if we get initiated, is that okay if we are in that parampara, Mataji?
Yes. Without the spiritual master, we are lost, So without the spiritual master, we actually don't have any qualification to go back home, back to Godhead. So yes, whether it is this lifetime, whether it is next lifetime, we always need our spiritual master. And the spiritual master actually comes back every time that we are coming back, till each and every one of his disciples is going back home, back to Godhead. The spiritual master also keeps coming back. That is the sign of a bona fide spiritual master. The spiritual master actually takes charge of taking the disciple back home, back to Godhead. Otherwise, it's like, we don't even have the passport nor the visa to go back home, back to Godhead. The spiritual master is the one who gives us the passport and he gives us the visa stamping. Initiation is like that visa stamping, without which we cannot enter the spiritual world. And we do need the spiritual master, and that is emphasized by everyone. Everyone emphasizes that yes, if in this lifetime, if you are not able to get a spiritual master, then, but don't worry, that should not dishearten us, because Krishna, he never is, he's not like a sadistic, autocratic, diplomatic person. He's not like that. Krishna is Bhavagrahi Janardhan, and whatever, spiritual advancement we have made in this lifetime, we will start off from there in our next lifetime. So, neha vikramanaso asti pratyavayurna vidyate swatam apyasya dharmasya trayate bhato bhayat. Krishna shows in the Bhagavad Gita that whatever spiritual advancement we will make in this particular lifetime, from our next lifetime we will start from where we have left off. So there is no loss or diminution in the process of devotional service. So, if we have, if we are sincere in our services, if we are sincere in our sadhana, then we will definitely be blessed, by receiving the mercy of the spiritual master, in this lifetime only. But somehow or the other, if we are not able to, then next lifetime we will start from where we left off. Whatever we have done this lifetime will not go waste. But if we have received initiation this lifetime, and somehow or the other we come back next lifetime also, in that lifetime also we will have to get initiated again. So the initiation happens every lifetime. So that's what it is. Does that answer your question?
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you. Any more questions?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandavats. It was such a beautiful class, loaded with such practical and very nice instructions. Thank you so much, Mataji. We are very, very grateful to you. Also, take care of your health. You don't sound good still. Thank you so much for coming on the call, Mataji.
Thank you. Thank you, Preeti and Advaita. Thank you. It's just that I'm just clogged up. Nothing else. Otherwise, I'm okay. It's just that I have very bad cold, and that's all it is. But thank you.
Mataji, Hare Krishna. Would you share the 2 lines that you said for waking up details in our Bhakti Sangha group, Mataji?
Pardon me?
Would it be possible for you to share the 2 lines in the Bhakti Sangha group for waking up the details, Mataji?
Yes, I will definitely share it.
Thank you, Mataji.
In fact, there are mantras for putting the deities to rest also. I'll share all of that.
Thank you, Mataji.
Okay. Any other questions?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dhanat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Mataji, thank you so much. It's a very, very inspiring class, Mataji. Mataji, just one question. Vardhana Mataji was asking, you were giving the answer. I just have one question in my mind. Mataji, is the relationship with the spiritual master we made from this life or from the previous life, Mataji? Because our relationship with the spiritual master, just it is connected in this life or from before life, Mataji?
Well, the spiritual master and the disciple's relationship is an eternal relationship. There is a lot of, this is a topic in itself. It has a lot of, it's also. But yes, the general guideline principle is that the spiritual master and the disciple share an eternal relationship. Then the questions are asked that, sometimes we see that the spiritual master has fallen down, or, this has happened, that has happened, and what is that? And in that situation also, it is explained that Janani Prabhu explains that then that was not our eternal spiritual master to start off with, if such a spiritual master has fallen down. But because it sometimes takes time for us to get a bona fide spiritual master. So, but when we have relationship with a bona fide spiritual master, then that becomes an eternal relationship. It is eternal. So.
Yes. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandavats Pranam. It's a very, very beautiful class. Very wonderful association with you. One question, Mataji, regarding the Mangalarti sweet. Someone was asking, can we offer fruits?
Yes. Even fruits and at least some milk items should be there. If you want to offer fruit, it is okay, but generally in the morning it is recommended to offer only milk and milk products. So that is what is recommended.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.